about the American government being shut down. But what I'm going to focus on is what happens next, on October 17th, when America runs out of cash. Something that will inevitably happen if the government is not able to be back in session by that point. So, why is the American government going to run out of money on October 17th? Well, like many countries, the US spends more than it actually has, and this causes it to have a deficit. However, there's a limit on how much money they can actually borrow, and this is called the debt ceiling. Now, the debt ceiling can be raised if it's approved by Congress. However, because the American government is no longer in session due to the shutdown, Congress is not available to actually raise the debt ceiling and vote on it. So that means that the US is going to hit its debt ceiling and no longer be able to borrow any more money on October 17th. Now what this means is that they already have expenses they've already pledged money to and loans that they already need to pay interest on. So as of October 17th, they will no longer have the funds to do so. So why is it a problem if the US can't raise the debt ceiling? Well, the US requires money to pay interest on its loans, and without the ability to pay interest on those, it essentially goes into default on those loans. It also means that it can't pay for programs like Medicare or programs like social insurance. So those individuals who rely on that for their income are not going to have the means to live. It also means that thousands of social programs and community programs that require federal funds are not going to get that funding. If the US doesn't have the money to pay down the interest on the loans that they've taken, what are the implications for US finances and US debt? Well, basically, the stability of American debt will be questioned. The ability of the American government to back the US dollar will also be questioned, and this will send treasury bonds and the value of the US dollar into a spiraling nosedive. And this is problematic for Americans and for those around the world who peg their currencies to the US dollar. So how concerned do we actually have to be that they're not going to raise the debt ceiling? Well, there hasn't actually been a lot of concern. The only real concern we've seen is that the US Treasury bond interest rate increased last week. And that indicates that investors are getting a little scared off and they want a little extra return on their money. So while it doesn't seem like a big deal at this point, we can only hope that common sense will prevail and that the government will be able to get together and raise the debt ceiling by October 17th.